Finally, Burnham sits down on the edge of the mat, and Spock takes a seat next to her. Spock reminds her that she had been a child with a child's understanding of events even when adults struggle to comprehend. However, if it would help ease Burnham's suffering, he would accept her apology. Burnham thanks Spock for his coming to speak to her, calling it unexpected but nonetheless appreciated. Spock admits that he had not expected to have this conversation either, but also appreciates it. When asked why he'd actually come, Spock reveals that he has discovered the reason behind the variance in the angel's patterns, why it chose to appear at certain times but not at others, and that Burnham herself was the variance. Armed with Spock's discovery, Burnham hey, they said the name of the show. Armed with Spock's discovery, Burnham explains to Pike that they could just set a trap directly on ESOF-4 rather than create a trap there and take it in search of the angel. They had been trying to track the angel by way of signals, and yet they should have been asking not where or when, but why. Spock explains that the 3 signals Discovery had encountered brought them somewhere that lives were saved, and the survivors of the USS Hiawatha on the asteroid, the human colony on Terra Elysium, and the Kelpians on Kaminar. The angel appeared at some of those locations, but not all of them. That's when they started showing more of them.
Yeah.
They start showing more where the actual red signals were. However, there was a pattern in the angel's appearances with no signal. Like when Spock was a boy and it warned him Burnham was in danger. And when Burnham saw it after being injured on the asteroid. Seeing it gave her strength, she explains that knowing help was coming. In essence, Burnham was saving her own life, an example of the grandfather paradox, as the future Burnham would not be able to exist if the present Burnham was killed.
I don't think that's accurate.
That depends on which form of time travel you're subscribing to, really.
Yeah.
Is it in a straight line? Do you create parallel universes every time you fragment the timeline? There's a lot of things there.
Yeah, for sure. But to me, like, what's happening to Burnham now is not future Burnham's past. It's her present.
Yeah, is it
watching her old self die?
Yeah, is it the Avengers style where if you travel in time, the future is now your past and the past is now your present? Kind of thing?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the way it works.
Yeah.
Now, like you said, there's a bunch of different ways that people try to make this work, but I think that's the one that makes the most sense. Mm-hmm. Not when you're discounting the multiverse thing, branching off timeline things, or that time is a straight line. If time is a straight line, you can't go back. So I feel like it has to be circular, and this does I felt like the Avengers way that they did it explained it pretty well. That's just me, though. My opinion on the matter.
Yeah. There is a guy who directed several episodes of Star Trek Continues. His name is James Kerwin. And he is I believe, like a doctorate in physics, but he also had a minor in filmmaking. And I've interviewed him a few times back when I had Geekish Cast, and I asked him about parallel universes, and he didn't believe in parallel universes. What he believed is that as decisions are made and everything changes around us, suddenly there's like an infinite variety of universes, and one by one they go out of existence as the results solidify. So you just get down to the one that exists where, everything that happened exists. Burnham now believes that she has to be the bait for the mousetrap. As ESOF-4 has no breathable atmosphere, they would set up a trap and then let Burnham go down with no protection and suffocate.
That doesn't
What could go wrong?
Yeah, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? Spock insists that the angel would protect Burnham, or else its entire purpose of trying to communicate with them would be for nothing. If anything went wrong, Culber would be the one on hand to resuscitate her, but Spock adds that he will likely not be necessary. Burnham does not like the idea any more than Pike does, but both she and Spock believe that it's the only way. Pike tells her that she is suggesting is against the oath he took as a Starfleet captain, but Burnham replies that if the choice was between her life and all sentient life in the galaxy, then there's not a choice. If they wanted to capture the Red Angel, they'd have to let her die.
Yeah, man, it just plays into her whole savior complex that she has, because she does have one.
Boy, does she ever.
Yeah, and I imagine, like, maybe they didn't film this, but like after this whole thing is over, how like insufferable she must have been.
Oh man, it's like she spends all her time just reading like Dune and the Bible, and that's it. The discovery in Leland's NCIA 93, I had to put it in there again, entered orbit around SO4, to which Spock explains calling it inhospitable would be an understatement. The surface temperature changes randomly, and the carbon monoxide atmosphere is laced with perchlorate dust, which would be lethal to oxygen-breathing life forms. The Daedalus facility on the surface, however, does have a breathable atmosphere. Giorgio remarks that she would enjoy the irony of going to a place she compares to the ninth circle of hell to capture a red angel if it weren't so dangerous. Yeah, there's kind of some fun wordplay involved in that, isn't there?
I wasn't going to say nothing.
Yeah. As Tilly and the engineering team beam into the facility with the phase discriminators, Pike emphasizes to Stamets that his work must be precise, as once the trap is set and Burnham is strapped to the chair, they will open the roof, and they have about 2 minutes before toxic atmosphere kills her. He then instructs Culber to be on hand to resuscitate. Spock warns him not to do so too early, however, as the angel might not appear, and if it didn't, they would lose more than Burnham's life, but all sentient life in the galaxy. Does this remind you of those old witch trials, like, throw her in the water? If
I didn't really get that vibe while watching it, but now that you say it, yeah, it definitely feels something like that.
Yeah, well, if she dies, I guess we were wrong, but if she lives, we know she's...
we know she's the Red Angel.
Yeah. Oh, man, okay. Before leaving for the surface, Burnham calls on Tyler in his quarters and admits that what she had said to him was not fair. She was angry, but didn't know where to put it. Tyler remarks that she put it... Tyler remarks that she put it where she thought it would be okay. Oh, okay.
We're grown folks here, ladies and gentlemen. Grown, all of us.
Yep, I am super mature. Burnham does not want that confrontation to be the last conversation they have. Tyler admonishes her to not think that way, as he believed the plan would work. She had the entire crew working to save her life, and she had him as well, as he passionately kisses her.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Back to that again.
Yeah, it looks like. They can't let it go. Burnham tearfully confesses again.
No, not Burnham.
That she was scared. Tyler admits that he is scared too, and they stand holding one another in the middle of his quarters for a very long period of time. On the bridge, Sarah reports that the facility is prepared and the away team is on site.